All right. So let me go back over here and we'll take a look at the video, okay, guys?
Blizzard have lost 8.5% of their players. Their BlizzCon ticketing app has extreme privacy issues that have just been brought to light.
Wow.
And we have yet another world-first race, and perhaps more importantly for the game itself, the new gear catch-up and gear design of 8.2, and finally our first impressions of the new Nazjatar Zone. So
8.5% of their players. Here's what's really disturbing about that. All right, and I by the way, guys, I also want to let you know that the pause champ emote is going to be coming out very soon. I've recently found somebody who's going to be able to make one for me, and the pause champ emote will be coming out very, very soon. I've seen a picture of it. I will be uploading it to either BTTV or Franker Face, whatever the hell it is, and we will have pause champ as an emote because you guys know how I like to pause the videos. The thing about this, right, is 8.5% of their player base across all of their games. I'm assuming this is what they're saying. If you're losing 8.5% of your player base across all your games, I would assume that WoW is probably losing the highest amount, right? I mean, Heroes of the Storm can't lose any players because nobody's playing the game to begin with. Diablo 3 is fucking dead because everybody's playing Path of Exile. Overwatch maybe lost some players too. Maybe they got tired of playing tanks the whole time. StarCraft 2, I mean, hey, that game's been dead for 5 years. And what else do they have? Hearthstone. I mean, Hearthstone probably gained players because of how many different fucking people have phones now. Mobile gaming apparently is like 50% or 51%. I saw like an infographic about this. 51% of the entire gaming industry now. So if you guys don't have phones, I'm sorry to say, but you might be fucked pretty soon. Like, it's very sad. It's more? Yeah, it's insane. Like, the amount of people that play mobile games, bro, like, these developers, they're sitting there, and they're fucking around these, like, giant mafia-sized round tables and, you know, these square tables, all these dudes in suits, you know, with, like, $500 haircuts, talking about how many different ways they can get Susie the soccer mom to spend 16 extra dollars on gems for Candy Crush. It's fucking disgusting, all right? That's basically all these mobile games are, is they put these artificial roadblocks in the game in order to incentivize you to spend money on the microtransactions, which I get it, right? Okay, it's whatever. But gaming nowadays, I think, would be much better understood if it was referred to as what it really is, which is gambling. That's really what it is. Everybody is gambling. You play any game, it's 1,000 loot boxes. WoW is the same thing, except for instead of gambling with money, you're gambling with your time. Which, by the way, I actually have another box to open in a bit, guys. I forgot all about that. Dude, I'm going to get it this time for fucking sure, dude. So I've opened, like, I've gotten like 8 of these, right? And these are like the Rallying War banners. I bet I'm going to probably get it this time 100%, dude. Like, I've got 8 of them. I've been farming this out. We're ready to fucking pop off and open up that box, man. Get that dopamine hit. Whoo! There it is.
yes, there is a hell of a lot to get into.
Okay.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the news. So, man, it is another stacked week of Blizzard news, plus a whole bunch of course, patch 8.2 stuff that's, you know what, actually pretty darn solid. Before we do that, though, first, it's a new month, so this month's Patreon theme is Warlock. So, as always, you can check out the link below. It's the best way to support the channel, and you'll get a thing like this full of cool physical loot, so it's a big win-win. With that said, let's get right into it. Okay, brief impressions of the Nazjatar Zone. I'll do a full in-depth video about this probably next week.
Okay.
But for now, here are my first thoughts. To summarize, it is pretty good, but yeah, sure, it could be better in a few different ways.
Okay.
Now, as for the physical zone itself, it looks pretty small, at least in so far as square footage goes.
Well, of course it's small. It's not even a third of the monitor.
It's smaller than Argus, but it does consist of like 4 distinct areas with a bunch of caves and buildings, which kind of obscures its actual size. Each part of Nazjatar is also surprisingly dense, as is the case with Mechagon. It doesn't take very long to get from one side to the other.
Wait a minute. Does this mean that there's now 25 Murloc clans? Because I don't remember seeing any Bloodfin Murlocs anywhere else. They're gonna have to update that fucking quiz. Look at all, like, I really like this picture here. Let's look at this right here. There's like 10 mobs on this guy. This is the way the game should be played. Anywhere you go, there should be giant, like, huge densities of Murlocs and other mobs that will just fucking ambush you and kill you. Like that's, I don't know. I feel like the game's not dangerous enough.
Dodging a serious amount of mobs and terrain in the process. And it's kind of interesting. I suppose I do like this style. It makes getting to where you want to go maybe a bit more of an involved process. Now, it might be a bit more of a pain than just, you know, hitting auto run and alt tabbing, but it also takes a...
That's not even true, because you're still going to be able to do that, because in 8.2, you're going to be able to get the armor on your mount that's going to make it to where you can't get dazed. And even if you don't have that, you can just use one of the other absorb items that are from TOS, or not TOS, COS, and then all the other dungeons like the Diamond Refracting Prism from Opulence, and then you can just use that, because if you're taking damage and you get an absorb on the damage, or if you're a tank spec, you cannot get dazed. You guys didn't know that, did you? Big surprise. Listen to this. Write this down. If you play a tank, you can't get dazed. You literally, like, dazed does not affect tank specializations. If you get hit with an absorb, if you don't take any physical damage from the attack, it cannot daze you. That's why people would use Pridaz to run all the way around in Argus, is because the mobs would never daze you. Who doesn't know this? Bro, like, you have no idea. You have no idea how stupid the player base is. Like, they're so fucking dumb, dude. And if you think that's not true, watch me go back and do Project 60 again. And maybe I'll do that to hype things up whenever Classic Beta is going to come out. Maybe we do that next week. You know, we'll go through, we'll get a bunch of level 60 characters and go through all the raids. That'd actually be really fun. And you're going to see how fucking dumb people are. Like, Vale has one mechanic, and half the raid will do it wrong.
A lot less time to get around. In fact, they even acknowledge this thing mechanically. In the central part of the zone, which is kind of a connection point between the sort of three distinct tile sets / locations of the zone, the ground is littered
Sorry,
with...
I didn't mean to pause that. That's like, I just wanted to refer, like, say one more thing. I don't want to level Project 60. Like, it's just fucking boring. I'm just going to play a level 60 character and do all the raids, okay? Like, that just the leveling all the way up. I mean, no, that takes too long. Like, I just want to do the raids. The raids are what's fun to me.
With like eggs. Also roaming the zone are a ton of crabs, elite and non-elite, which are passive.
That's good.
If you step in any of the eggs, you'll you know, they'll burst. You'll get covered in, well, you know, egg goo. Now this gives you a 10-minute debuff that turns the crabs hostile, making getting through without getting, you know, snipped up well, a bit of a slalom. Now, it's not the most engaging mechanic in the world, but it's just the kind of thing that makes the world feel, you know, a bit more alive.
Well, it's real.
I think that's pretty good with the traversal.
Yeah, it's absolutely
quite
good.
Well represented.
That's very
good. The design. Again, now this is stuff that is extraneous to the actual game systems, but I mean, it's quite good. There's no end of stuff to like just find and click in the zone. It's very dense. There's lots of buff shrines guarded by rares and elites, small stacking buff items.
Bro, like, I used to fucking love that, okay? Pause champ. I used to fucking love that back in, what was that thing? Timeless Isle. You used to be able to get all these little buffs, and you'd go and you'd click on these rocks, and it would give you, there was like one of like 5 that you could have. It would explode and do nothing. It would give you Chi G, which would turn you into like literally the biggest dick motherfucker in the entire game. It would increase like all your secondaries by 25%, and the other ones make you do more damage, take less damage, and give you more stats. It was really, really fucking good. I bet, like, right now, let me think if I can remember. So Zwin gave you 15% extra damage, Yuan gave you 20% extra stats, Chi-Ji gave you 25% each of your secondary stats, and Yuan and Nizao gave you 25% reduced damage taken. See? That was a long time ago, but I still fucking remember because I did it all the time.
Treasures that you can, you know, reveal. Basically, there's a lot to keep your eyes out for. Now, once you get flying there, a few weeks after Raid 2 launches, it's probably going to be a blast, I'd say. You'll be able to pick up items giving you plenty of power really quickly on your mount.
Oh, yeah, they said you were able to. Okay,
now, sure, this does defeat the point of the zone a little bit, but that's once you've got Pathfinder, and that's once you will have seen everything the Nazjatar has to offer from the ground. So, yeah, you might as well have an easier time of it and just reap the rewards of all the power you can get. So flying will feel quite good there, I'd say. Now, on the quality of the world, I've got to give them some props. The Ankoan are a really cool race. They are basically a more metal version of the Jinyu, with some pretty good dialogue and voiceovers.
The Ankoan is basically, it's like a Naga and a human fucked. And there it is. That's actually what it is.
basically they're on par with most of like the ancillary races we've seen in the game over time.
Yeah,
As
that's
for how
gonna
it
be a new
looks,
ally
well,
race. I
I
like
think we expect an Azure to be, you know, lots of Zinashari and some deep sea, and we didn't really get that. Instead, we have a few nice colors of like deep
Holy
sea rock,
shit.
some
Wait,
coral,
what the
barnacles, plenty of seaweed.
This area is
Basically,
huge.
they accurately replicated what it looks like down there,
Wow.
and made some sacrifices for the sake
Holy
of making
shit,
it just
that's
an actual
incredible.
playable world. They also do reuse like all
It's
of
like
their
he's in a
Zuna
snow
assets,
globe,
like the
though.
part of Nazjatar that's clearly supposed to be, you know, the Zinashari ruins. That basically is just a Zuna with more seaweed. Now, the enemies across the zone,
Incredible.
I'd say they're similarly designed to those in Mechagon. You know, you kind of got to keep your eyes out, you know, be or your eyes open for them, you know, be a bit more engaged, I suppose, with your brain when you're fighting them, and that's definitely a good thing. Now, they're not difficult if you try, but on like 415
I would
geared
assume
characters,
not.
I actually got into a few rough spots when I just found myself zoning out in the way that I, you know, typically do when I play WoW. Now, the
Exactly.
quests in the zone
That's
are
all I
fairly
do, too.
standard. They hint at the history of the zone and the characters, giving you a glimpse of, you know, Chandris or Thalithra's past, depending on your faction, as
Okay.
well as learning about your new faction, you know, allies that you meet down there. Now, eventually you meet Ashara
nice.
and the raid bosses a few times. You build up your presence in Nazjatar, and you assault Ashara's eternal
Yo, that
palace.
NPC looks
and you know
really
what?
fucking
They're all
badass.
good WoW quests. I found myself decently engaged in a nice little flow
Wait,
state
good WoW
going through
quests?
them. You know, they're nowhere near the best the game has to offer, but yeah, they're pretty damn solid. Now, the zone has, I'd say, simple and boring world quests with the usual rewards for the most part, but also they give you the zone's currency, mana pearls. These are kind of interesting. You get these for doing daily bounties and tasks, which involve like killing mobs, you know, rares, gathering the aforementioned buff items.
AKA the exact thing we had in Argus. Hey, I mean, if it's not broke, well, if it is broke and you don't know how to fix it, just do it again.
And doing some of the world quests. Now, these pearls are spent on the zone's rewards, which are the usual and include some Azurite essences, but more importantly are used for this patch's new gearing system. And honestly, I think it's safe to say that this might even go beyond catch-up, and I'll explain a little bit soon.
What do you mean?
So the new gear is called Benthic gear.
Stupid
Benthic
name.
gear is purchased
Stupid
for
fucking
mana
name, don't
pearls
like
or
it.
is gained through doing the world quests.
Okay.
Now, this gear is initially item level 385.
So those are this is the literally exact same thing that we got with the relinquished vendor or whatever the fuck it was in the Broken Shore, and then also later on in Argus. So this is the exact same fucking thing. And boys, like, is anybody ready to fucking fill up on those fat loot 385s? Woo! No? Yeah, me either.
And has predetermined secondary stats and some interesting effects.
Okay.
You can upgrade this gear with pearling kits that you purchase with mana pearls, and that is in increments of 5 up until the cap. Now, their cap, interestingly, is at item level 430. That's the same eye level as Eternal Path's heroic gear. Now, that sounds quite insane, and
They're doing it. They're doing the idea. This is literally the idea that everybody's been asking for. I've been asking for. They're actually doing it. Oh my god. No, I'm not even like this is what we wanted. This is what everybody wanted in order for them to replace Titan Forging. This is exactly fucking it. Literally, yeah, this isn't the exact same. I was wrong, and I'm so happy to be fucking wrong. Oh my god, it's too easy. Yeah, you can Titan Forge your own fucking gear. Doing all far no can stop me. What's up, Nick? Making the game a tad bit better. Hey, bro, like at this point, we'll take what we can get.
I suppose it is. Now, before I talk about that, there are effects that come in this gear, and it's generally stuff that comes in either a combat or an act.
You are 5% larger while in Nazjatar. See that right there? Blizzard finally understands what the player base wants. Oh, I want my character to be real big. So, you know, I walk in somewhere, they see me. I can't fit through the door, that's too bad. I don't even want to go in there anyway. Oh, yeah, I'll walk in wherever the fuck I want. Everybody gonna see me. No, I'm serious. Like Blizzard finally gets it.
exploration flavor. It's actually, some of it's quite strong, and it's all pretty darn relevant to Nazjatar or the Eternal Palace. So, you know, you've got things like increased, you know, speed being one as an example, but another one being like taking a few % less frost damage, which actually could be pretty relevant in the raid. So yeah, I suppose it's pretty interesting.
Does anybody know, can these roll sockets? Because like that's such a huge component. Wait, yo, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, they're actually, no, well, hopefully they won't be able to, because I think that'd be a little bit OP. And just add in a little bit to, this is, 2% is going to be huge for Mythic. Well, that's also like assuming that each piece has this specific item. That means that if you had multiple pieces, you'd be able to have like 5 or 6 of these, which means that you'd have 10 or 12% reduced damage taken. This is insane. So they're actually adding, like, we're coming full circle here, boys. We're getting upgradable gear, and we're also getting fucking resistances back. Oh my god. Wow. They're making Azeroth great again. This is, I'm actually happy right now. Like, this is good. Yeah, BFA Classic. I mean, BFA's got a long way to go before I'm going to say BFA saved. But I do want to say one thing, is that think about how much more of an outcry there was for Classic servers in BFA, or in BFA and also in WoD, than there was in Legion. A lot of people in Legion were like, you know, Classic's okay, but we like Legion. Now, everybody's in BFA and they're like, fuck, dude, I can't wait for Classic to come out. If the game is better, right, then there's the less people to play Classic. Like, I really think it's gonna be like a vice versa thing, right? Like, the worse the live game gets, the more people Classic is going to have playing it, because you know there's people that are just fucking addicted to WoW, right? They're never gonna quit WoW, so they're just gonna want to play the best version of WoW. And you know, I don't know if you guys can think of anybody like that, but you know, I can think of one. So yeah, I mean, hey, it's the way it goes. BFA early access is over. Well, this is more than BFA early access is over. This demonstrates a philosophy change, right? These different things, you can obviously stack them up. And this is Blizzard not being afraid to add a few things into the game that might be a little bit OP and really strong if you stack them up. But who gives a fuck, because it makes the game fun. I'd rather things be OP than nothing be fun. Too early to say? Oh, I agree with you. It is too early to say. But this obviously points in a positive direction. And I've always been one to, if Blizzard does something right, I want to be the first person to say thank you. Because that's the main thing. Like, I don't want to have this be like a weird fucking thing where I'm complaining about the game constantly. Like, I want the game to get better. And these two changes are in that direction. So I'm happy.
Reduced shadow damage as well, and there's even increased damage against aberrations, which is a class applied to some mobs and even one of the bosses in the Eternal Palace itself. One of the backs even has a chance to loot a random fish from creatures in the zone, so it's just getting a bit more.
That's real content. Imagine you've got gear now that allows you to loot a fish. See, Blizzard's finally, they stopped looking like this, and they've started looking like this. Now, we need to be here, but, hey, that's good.
Creative in a few ways there. And like I said about Mechagon, this is experimentation from the WoW team, and it's definitely appreciated.
Fuck yeah.
Perhaps the strength of these things matching heroic raid gear will anger many, and I can understand that, since it is just grinding mana pearls instead, but
see that, like, yeah, obviously there should be some sort of a threshold. So if you're raiding and like that, there's like these should not be the main way of getting gear, right? I mean, I think that skill-based challenges should be the most lucrative way of getting gear always. That being said, Classic WoW, like anybody talking about, oh wow, well, I remember back in the day whenever you had to work for your gear. Back in Burning Crusade, you know what you would do to get your gear? Is you would make a new arena team every single fucking week, you'd lose 10 games, and then you get your arena points, and then you delete your team, and you'd make a new one for the next week, you'd lose 10 more games, and by the end of the season, you'd be able to buy an entire full set of Merciless Gladiator gear and do PvP, and it would be just fine. And you know what you did for that? You lost every fucking game. It didn't matter. In vanilla WoW, you know what you would do to get gear? My mom. had a lot of pieces of gear that were better than mine in vanilla WoW. You know why? Because she farmed out gold and she bought them on the auction house, or she made them herself. That's the way the game should work. That is the way an RPG should work. People want to have this be like some sort of like a fucking divine challenge of skill. Oh my god, I'm so good at the fucking game. I can do this different weird thing. There's a time and a place for that, and I think that should always kind of supersede the welfare gear, kind of like this. It's just based off of time investment, but time investment should matter. Time investment should be a very important component to the game. That is what made the game so casual friendly, is how much time you could invest in it, because people weren't actually good at the game, but they could play it a lot.
But it's an alternative gearing method that could offset bad luck and, bad loot drops and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And there are some, interesting pieces that are maybe optimal for Mythic Raiders, like 2% reduced frost and shadow damage in a raid that's sure to use those damage types. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at for cutting-edge players, so it'll be interesting to see how that bit
I'm really
is
curious about this.
thought by people.
It's actually really
targeted
cool.
gear, there's no random elements involved. Really, that's what a lot of people have been asking for. I might talk about this more in depth in the future once we get more into it, but I think that design-wise, it's a good step, it's a good experiment, even if it ultimately doesn't work. I think this is new, and it's absolutely along the lines of what I think quite a few players have been asking for in a few regards. So, that's what's going on there. Next, some meta topics. Activision Blizzard had their Q1 2019 earnings call, and suffice to say, it was pretty darn revealing, especially when placed in context. So last quarter, they laid off 800 people, well, 800 plus, with us knowing that Blizz were hit pretty hard. Many staff lost their jobs, and the company also hired in its development teams to bolster up those, teams, all with the goal of being able to output more content. Well, that plus, mobile and free-to-play, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, the reason why they wanted to bolster their content production is pretty darn clear from this earnings call. Monthly active users. This is a bit of a problem spot for Blizzard, with it being revealed that they lost 3 million players in Q1 2019, with their MAUs going down from 35 million to 32 million, which is an 8.5% decrease in the company's players, which really is a lot.
Wow.
Now, further to that, they also brought in low but expected revenue, likely showing less engagement from the MAUs that they actually do have. And you might be wondering how this all stacks up to previous years. Well, a massive thank you to Night Stalker, who compiled all...
Yo, this guy fucking talks shit to me all the time on Twitter. Like, this guy calls me out fucking constantly. Like, I know who this guy is. Like, where is... Like, I know this guy for a fucking... Like, let me see if I can find him. All right? Just a second. I'm going to open it up. Let me... Yeah, dude, this guy fucking all the goddamn time, man. Like, I don't even know how many times. This guy's actually, he's really good, okay? He's a good player. Where's the other tweets at me? Trying to call me out. Thoughts on the RBG Oh, well, no, that's actually good. Oh, wait, what? Can you even lift one of those back? See, I told you guys he's talking shit, dude. This guy, I recognize his fucking name just by that picture. Talking shit. Control F? Yeah, it's a good idea. Okay, Asmon. All right, yeah, 4 out of 6 matches. It's about right. Okay, next one. You will get carried, though. See? See this fucking shit? This guy's talking shit all the time, man. Let's see. Warfront pro tip. Just report Asmongold whenever you see him in a Warfront. Where's the next one here? Have you done any mount giveaways and old content lately? I wish I could. Except in the rate. See? It's like... See, like, I'm telling you guys, like, I knew exactly who this fucking person was immediately. All right, where the hell is this? Just letting you guys know. Deserved? Okay.
Of this and sent me a tweet, which was really great. So their MAUs over time from Q1 2016 onwards look like this. So 2016 started off with 26 million, then went up to 33, then to 42, then down to 41, so a strong year. 2017 was also decent, going from 41 to 46 before falling to 42 and then down to 40. As for 2018, well, they slipped to 38. They stayed at 37 million for 2 quarters and then went down to 35 million before the slump down to 32 million for Q1 2019. And that means that right now it's Blizzard's lowest since Q1 of 2016.
What happened in 2016 that brought them from 26 to 33? I mean, that's a massive jump. And this one, like 33 to 42. Was it Legion? Wait, Overwatch. Wait, how did Overwatch? What happened in 2016 that got them involved with Overwatch to get that many more people involved? Like, how I don't understand. It came out. Overwatch came out. Wait, what? No, Overwatch came out in like 2000. Like, I thought it came out. What? I thought Overwatch came out like years ago, in 2014 or something. Am I wrong? What? What the fuck? No, like, this is honestly throwing me for a fucking loop. Like, I don't even know what to say here. This is honestly, like, really weird. Let me change the camera. I don't know why it died there. Okay, that should be fine. See, I have so many fuck-ups. I've always got a backup plan because I fuck up so much. Yeah, I just had to turn that off while I looked at that picture. But anyway, I can't even believe it that it came out that long ago. Like, this is so weird to me.
Which is pretty darn low, and yeah, they've lost like 5 million
I feel like
players
I'm in a
in the
time
last
warp or
6
something.
months, and that's certainly not a good statistic for any company.
No.
Really, you've got to wonder though just how much of this is down to content, what's actually going on here, because if you look at Hearthstone, it's not really had super exciting news for a while, and Blizzard themselves have said that Overwatch was down because of basically sparse content. They did say that WoW had a big update on the way, and they like kind of hyped up the most recent Hearthstone expansion, saying it's performed better than the previous two.
Let me go back and see what they said about WoW real quick.
Saying it's performed better.
Shit.
They did say that WoW.
World of Warcraft Classic will be part of the franchise subscription. In addition, a large content update to World of Warcraft called Rise of Ashara is already on test servers and will include new zones, dungeons, and more. I mean, okay.
Had a big update on the way, and they like kind of hyped up the most recent
Apex
Hearthstone
killed
expansion,
Overwatch also?
saying it's performed better than the previous two, and of course the new Overwatch content that's really only just made it into the game and
did
is on
it?
the PTR. So I mean they've done a lot of that,
I
but
don't-
really
yeah, I
the core
don't
thing
think
is
so.
there just has not been a lot of Blizzard content. Now what I think will be a bit less exciting for the core Blizzard
Yeah.
audience is well, you all have your phones, don't you? Because overall, Activision Blizzard talked a lot about mobile during their earnings call and the desire to move into mobile and free-to-play, especially with China. Now, look, from a pure business perspective, it's
So he's about to say some kind of fucking bullshit that's going to rationalize mobile games, okay? All right, listen, Blizzard. Stop pretending your audience is anything but a bunch of fat fucking dudes sitting in their mom's basement eating Cheetos. That's what it is. That's it. That's all it is. Stop making the game for progressive soccer moms, 8-year-old children. They're playing Fortnite. They're busy. The only thing they know about Overwatch is the porn. They're not interested in the game. Just stop. Just be good at what you're good at. You don't have to be good at everything. You bought King. Have them make the bullshit mobile games.
kind of hard to blame them. Fortnite was able to get 50 million players through console and PC, but what really brought it beyond like the 200 million player mark, that was mobile. And that's what the big man Bobby Kotick himself said. He said one of their big goals was to bring their existing console and PC franchises to mobile. Now,
they can do that, and that's fine, okay? I want to make sure one thing is clear. If they made a phone app for pet battles for WoW, I'd be happy. I think it was fucking great. I would be thrilled if they made a phone app for pet battles. They should make a phone app for the garrison missions, or not garrison missions, the what expansion is this time? Class Order Hall, war campaign mission. Sorry guys, they've got so much content in the game, I just kind of forgot. They need to do that. They had that? Yeah, they had that. Then they got rid of it, didn't they? But what I'm saying is, like, it's more the pet battle thing, right? They need to have something that's actually interactive. If they do a pet battle, if they do a pet battle phone app, I will be thrilled, okay? If they do a pet battle phone app, clip it. If they do a pet battle phone app, if they do the thing that I was talking about, I will buy every pet in the Blizzard store. Every pet. Okay? There you go. And on top of it, how much are they? Actually, you know what? How much is this? Like, what am I committing to? $10? I'll do a $200 giveaway, and I'll buy 20 of the pets, and I'll give them away to people, randomly. Yeah, so I'll do like a little giveaway and give people the pets. Why not, dude? Why not?
For Blizz, well, we've already got Diablo Immortal.
Yeah.
Corey Stockton is reportedly working on a World of Warcraft battle pet mixed with Pokemon Go game, but apparently...
I told you guys they're listening now. Yeah, they're listening now. They're fucking, like, here's the thing, is like these companies, they think they fucking know everything, and then their games are dying, and now they're suddenly changing their minds and listening to the players because maybe they weren't so fucking smart after all with all their information and knowledge and all this other fucking bullshit that they got from school, right? You think about the people from WoW. Who made WoW? Jeff Kaplan. How did he get into WoW? Complaining about EverQuest. How did, I mean, Ghostcrawler was a marine biologist. Ian is an attorney. Like, but the data, yeah. See, they're finally starting to realize that you can't design games around data. You have to design them around people and how people feel.
With more mechanics than Pokemon Go, which, I mean, hey, that could be interesting. There's also, I think, a project being headed up by Tom Chilton as well. Now, mobile-related posts have been coming and going really off their job site for years now, so suffice to say, we're going to see more of that pretty soon. Maybe StarCraft Clash Royale. I mean, that'll make me really sad when I see it. Who knows what's going on for Overwatch and what the mobile plans are there, but we'll probably see something. Then past that, Activision Blizzard talked about how they've invested in their platforms such that they are now in a far better position to explore free-to-play opportunities as a company. So who knows what that's actually going to...
That's what they need to do. Like, they need to figure out a way to make, like, they should make WoW free-to-play up to level 60. Like, I genuinely think that's what they should do. They should make a way to play WoW that's free-to-play that's better than what they have now. Because, no, I'm serious. Like, free-to-play, that is the future. Because it is such, I'm going to tell you why. Like, it is such a massive, like, obstacle for people to actually spend money to play a game. Right? I mean, like, look at how successful Apex was. Apex was successful on a viral level because anybody could just log in and play the game. Fortnite is successful on a viral level for the same reason. Games that have that type of mass appeal have at least a free-to-play component. I don't want WoW to be free-to-play, but I think there should be components of WoW that are free-to-play that, in the same way that these other games, like Apex convinces players to, or tries to like lead players into buying loot boxes, and the same thing with Fortnite. I think that WoW should try to convince players and lead them into paying for a subscription. Right? That should be the goal. The level 20 trial account doesn't do that. It just doesn't. You can play to level 20. It's not good enough. Yeah, it should be free to play until 110 or something. Like I don't know. Like 60 is the minimum in my opinion. Do we really need those players? Fuck yes, you do. The game is dying. Yes. Yes, they need it. The game is fucking dying. Like, they're killing the game. They're killing the game with their decisions. And I'm not even trying to be exaggerating right now. They're killing the game. More now than ever. Because at least before they could fall back on goodwill. Now they can't do that anymore. Yes, we need the players. Yes, they should do more things to get people into WoW.
to mean for Blizzard. We have not really seen Blizzard do, I mean, obviously Hearthstone is a desktop, big free-to-play game, but we haven't really seen much in the way of free-to-play from Blizz. But again, I wouldn't be super surprised if we do see some of that, because that is a kind of a part of the direction the industry is going in. Now, that said, they did say that they still value the $60 premium release. They said that they know that their customers like getting their games that way, and that's good to hear.
You mean you like getting your money that way? Because that way you just hype up a game and it can be shitty, but after people have bought it, fuck you.
But considering the insane microtransactions of the otherwise quite fantastic Black Ops 4, it's hard to really trust them, because that's a $60 game that is stuffed full of free-to-play-like microtransactions.
Okay.
I mean, hey, just like World of Warcraft, but, you know, WoW also has a sub fee. So, yeah.
What do you mean? It also has an expansion, too.
Yeah, the mobile and the free-to-play side, I mean, I don't really like that too much. But that said, bolstering their development team headcount to put out more content, well, I think that is probably a good thing. Activision Publishing, pretty much with, you know, Q2 of Blops Force Life and Sekiro, actually managed to earn just under what Blizzard pulled in, and that's with Blizzard having far more active games. So it's pretty darn clear that Activision Blizzard will think that Blizzard Entertainment is leaving a lot of money on the table.
Holy
and,
shit.
Well, their slow rate of content
Sekiro did really well.
Factor here. I mean, just look at Overwatch. So yeah, more games, more content, parts of that sound good as long as it is Blizzard quality, and really that's the bit that I'm worried about, but that's not something we'll really be able to assess until their next major release, which probably will be Diablo 3. So, you know, by the time we're all 80 years old. He means to say Diablo Immortal. So that's the situation with Blizzard's player count. Let's move on to the strange BlizzCon situation. Okay, so BlizzCon ticketing is now going to be done through a mobile app, and their goal clearly is just to run the con in a smoother fashion and to reduce queue times and make it all run smoothly, but there's a problem. Blizzard are not deploying their own app, they're using a ticketing system called AXS. So far, it seems fine, but the problem is the app has absurd permissions. Now, this is probably less of an issue on iOS because of some of the platform security, but on Android, it pretty much gets everything. A r/wow poster found a fantastic article that breaks down essentially what the app does, but the basics
I don't know how true
it just grabs
is.
Personal data, a lot of it, including things like precise location, and they give that to third parties. I mean, here's their terms. We may also share your personal information and other information with trusted third parties, such as our partners, sponsors, or their affiliates and subsidiaries and other related entities for marketing.
See how they're like, oh, we may share it with our partners or our partners' partners or their subsidiaries or, you know what? Hey, anybody that gives us $50, let's go. That's really what it is, isn't it?
Advertising or other commercial purposes, and we may occasionally allow third parties to access certain sites for marketing purposes. Now, remember, the job of this app is basically just to display a QR code. That's pretty much it. So it's clear that all this data
That's why it needs to know your credit card information.
Harvesting and telemetry, like, it's a key part of their business. And I think this is something that just most people won't be aware of when using this app. It's something you kind of have to use for BlizzCon, and I mean, I don't really think it's that great. I mean, hey, at least this time Blizzard won't have to ask you if you have a mobile phone on stage. Personally, though, I just think that, you know, privacy and data, that's extremely important. And a part of why I bring this up is because it's not even a case of if you trust the company, say Blizzard. It's about trusting the companies.
Yeah, it's like, you know what, maybe this is their big solution, right? They're like, don't you guys have phones? Well, man, you know, we can't let them say that because maybe they don't have phones. So next year, we'll make sure they have to have phones. So every single person in the audience will be a potential customer. Smart.
That company is working with their partners. So in this case, I don't think that Blizzard really chose a good partner here. People should not be the product when they are spending at minimum $200.
Sorry, I keep pausing. Here's a way to tell about these games, right? And these products. If you're not paying for a product, you are the product. Simple. Facebook, Twitter, everything.
$130 on a ticket. For it to not be like that, I mean, I just think it's a bit wrong. And then finally, the world first race to Unat. You know what? Rather amazingly, it took ages for the guilds to get the fight down, longer than people expected, with the fight seemingly being pretty darn fantastic, maybe being one of the better ones Blizzard's created in quite some time. And unlike Star Augur, it's not something that was able, that could be trivialized by using, say, a nameplate add-on, because of course Blizzard killed that functionality. Now, in a slight upset, European Guild Pieces managed to get the world first, with the incumbent's Method getting the world second. Now, while it was not as large a race as the Zlara lore, it certainly was fun to watch, especially with the quality of the UNAT fight and just how long guilds were in that super tense sub 10% region. I mean, there was like Method, I think, we're on 2% for a good amount of time, so pretty darn crazy.
I saw the 2% wipe, dude. They were so mad.
For the Blizzard news. In case you haven't noticed, I've got, well, you know, it's a bit of a rough morning, let's just say so. I've soldiered through this video. We've got a lot more scripts on the way, as we alluded to. We've got a lot more about just Nazjatar and a lot of lore coming soon, so it should be pretty fun as we move through next week and the week after. But yeah, thanks for sticking with the channel. Thanks for watching this video.
I never actually watched the kill video
and with that, I'll see you next
of the
time.
boss actually dying. Like, I have no idea. Like, does like N'Zoth play any part in the boss fight?